Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're getting some more Ultra League Premier Cup Go Battle League battles. Alright, it's getting to that point in the season where the grind is really grinding, about to hit rank 9. The question is, am I going to be able to do it in this set? I gotta be honest with you guys. I was struggling towards the end of Great League, playing around a little bit of spice, trying to figure out a consistent team that works, running into some poor matchups, things along those lines, struggling towards the end of Great League. Start Ultra League Premier. My struggles continued. Some unfortunate situations. I have nobody to blame but the game. No, I'm kidding. Myself. Because it's time to adapt. It's time for grind mode. It's time to hit rank 9, but I've taken a lot of losing sets. We're going to find out how I did in this set and if I'm able to hit rank 9. And if I'm able to, we're going to see what my starting elo is. And I got to warn you guys. I got to stress it enough. I have not been performing well. I want to make that as known as I possibly can because I want you to understand that as much as I've been successful in previous seasons and I hit rank 10 every season and I do it very well and I get high on the leaderboards, everybody goes through their struggles. So if you're feeling like you're never going to get to rank 10, please take this page out of my notebook right now and realize that even, I don't want to consider myself the best, that's a little obnoxious. But I tell myself I'm the best all the time. You should tell yourself you're the best also. But take it out of my book that even the people that you think are the best are having their struggles and go through their lows along with the highs that come hopefully afterwards. I don't know. Kind of messed with the analogy. My point is we all struggle. And I'm currently in one of those phases where I'm going to struggle, and I'm working on finding a consistent team. This consistent team is a very unique one. The plan with this team was to lead with Shadow Machamp, but I wasn't catching a lot of leads, so that became an issue. So I started leading Alolan Muck, and as much as Alolan Muck's a great save swap, kind of liking it as a lead, I have Tangrowth as a save swap. It's also a great save swap. This is like a double save swap team, and then I have Shadow Machamp in the back to close it out. Let's get into this set. Let's see if I'm able to hit rank 9. Let's check out these battles, and if you're excited for this content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's jump into these battles now. So, what's interesting about this team is that as much as I'm not running Alolan Muck as a safe swap, I'm running as a lead, and it doesn't win a lot of leads, it also doesn't really lose a lot of leads, and the ones that it loses are fairly close. So I actually kind of like that coming from a potential lead type Pokemon as I'm using Alolan Muck. So, getting into this first match, we have an Alolan Muck on an Ampharos lead, and I'm pretty sure I need to land the Sludge Wave in order to potentially win this, or at least put the Ampharos in a good spot to farm down after. So I build up to the Sludge Wave, unfortunately didn't get the bait. They're going for a charge move based on the amount of Volt Switches they've thrown. They're at a Focus Blast, and they're definitely at 2 Thunder Punches. So I shield just in case they decide they want to throw a Focus Blast and get that big chunk of damage to land immediately. But I'm pretty confident that Thunder Punch would be more energy efficient. Somebody could double check me. I didn't look into it exactly because I'm not the one using Ampharos currently. But either way, Thunder Punch gets stabbed, so that's why I'm assuming it. They're getting to another Thunder Punch here. They've over-farmed, so they're probably at 2 again right now. Maybe they're like 1 Volt Switch away from it. Oh, no, they're at 2 again, so they're going for it right here. And because of the fact that I think we both shielded, I decided to let this Thunder Punch go through, and I let my Alolan Muck go down, and now this Ampharos is in farm range for my Shadow Machamp to get a little bit of a head start. I need to hope that whatever they have in the back isn't a hard counter for my Shadow Machamp, so this head start that I got in energy is useful. And it was, because they have a Tangrowth, which is going to take neutral damage from all the counters and all the cross chops, and when Machamp's in a neutral situation, especially when it can be protected by his shields, it can really go off, and specifically Shadow Machamp, because that extra shadow damage allows it to just output so much. I also tried to swap there because I expected a Rock Slide to be coming through or a Power Whip to come through, and I wanted to save his shields. Ends up being a Power Whip. I would have much preferred to catch that on my Tangela, but they bring in a Lapras, and I'm still in a pretty good spot here because Machamp's going to be dealing super effective damage with both moves, and then Tangrowth in the back will also deal super effective damage. I also get my opponent's shield from that cross chop, so I go straight into my Tangrowth here, and I just want to get off 1 Power Whip. Tangrowth is very bulky. It's a big pile of, I don't really know what to call that, but look at how it tanks that Ice Beam. That's a super effective Ice Beam coming from an Ultra League Lapras that it's able to tank and survive so that I can get this Power Whip off, and it's going to take out the remaining health of this Lapras. And then the opponent's Tangrowth comes in, we're Vine Whipping at each other, I have a little bit more health, I take it down, and I win the first match of this set. So, as things currently stand, this is my current go-to Ultra Premier team. Don't know how long it's going to last, but as I've been playing out matchups, I'm fine with losing leads closely like I did in that last match, and have Machamp come in and essentially help turn the match around and get me going in a positive direction. Machamp was really the MVP there. It really went off against my opponent's Tangrowth and their Lapras. Tangrowth in the back was also pretty clutch, but I lost lead there and was still able to overcome, which was huge. Getting into this next match, I have an Alolan Muck on Dragonite lead. They swap into their Lapras, and I'm going to go right into my Shadow Machamp. I'd use a shield, so I don't really plan on using another shield to protect my Shadow Machamp. I'm hoping that I'm able to get some shields from my opponent's Lapras. They decide not to shield that Cross Chop, and because of the fact that they're throwing their energy pretty quickly, I'm pretty confident this is a Surf, which I know my Machamp can tank, even though its defense is a little bit lower because it's a Shadow. Then I'm able to counter it down, which is even better. I'm fully expecting the Dragonite to come in, and I'm hoping that Machamp has enough health to survive the Dragon Breaths so that I can get off a Rock Slide here. I get to the Rock Slide. This will, I don't know if it'll necessarily one-shot, but because of the shadow damage, it'll do a lot to this Dragonite, so it definitely threatens a shield, definitely has to be respected. And now my Alolan Muck still has that energy from earlier, so I'm going for the Sludge Wave thinking maybe they won't use back-to-back shields, and we'll find out that they do use back-to-back shields, so I wish I would have baited with the Dark Pulse, but if I would have thrown the Dark Pulse, they wouldn't have shielded, and then I would have been salty about that too, because that's just how it works sometimes, you know, just sometimes you get in your ways, and that's just how the matches play out. You just don't want it to, but it happens. They throw a Dragon Claw, I end up shielding it just to make sure it was a Dragon Claw and to confirm that I can get off another Sludge Wave, which will definitely take out the Dragonite's remaining health. So I have half a Venusaur and a full Tangrowth in the back, and their last Pokemon is Gengar, and I messed this match up. I was assuming a lot of different Pokemon. I wasn't expecting Gengar here, but the huge mistake was going into Tangrowth because a Rock Slide does not one-hit KO. A Power Whip would have been resisted, so it definitely wouldn't have one-hit KO. They're going to get to a charge move here. They're going to throw a Shadow Ball. This will take out my Tangrowth's remaining health, and what I should have done was leave in my Alolan Muck here, try to build up to a Dark Pulse and hope that I could survive a Shadow Punch, because they would definitely not get to a Shadow Ball before I did. So honestly, looking at my health, maybe it wasn't a complete mistake. Maybe I was screwed either way by the Gengar in the back, but my better chance of winning there would have been to leave in Alolan Muck and try to get to that Dark Pulse. So, as much as Alolan Muck doesn't win a lot of leads, there is one very popular one and one very important one that it does win, and that is against Venusaur. I really enjoy Alolan Muck's matchup against Venusaur because not only does it win it, it resists the Frenzy Plants, and Venusaur needs quite a few of them to do solid damage to an Alolan Muck. I like the way it handles the Frenzy Plants, essentially is my point here. So, they're going for a Frenzy Plant here, and you'll see right there, it does about a third, I would say, and then they swap into Snorlax, and I'm like, oh, perfect, save my energy, I'll bring in Shadow Machamp, I'll throw a Cross Chop, I can tank a Body Slam, I can tank whatever this charge move is. It could potentially be a superpower because I did take a second to swap. Ends up being a superpower. Tanked it just fine. This Cross Chop is just going to do even more damage. It won't take out the Snorlax. It'll get it low though, so I can farm it down. So get it into the red and got it really low. Another counter takes out the Snorlax. Fully expecting the Venusaur to come in, but the Venusaur doesn't have a lot of energy, and they actually don't bring in the Venusaur. They bring in a Staraptor, which is quite the Spice Mon here. So I go for a Cross Chop. Staraptor is going to take neutral damage from it because it's not only flying, but it's also a normal type. It is able to farm down my Machamp here, and now I'm kind of stuck in a position to bring in my Tangrowth based on the fact that I don't want it lined up with the Venusaur. I want Alolan Muck lined up with the Venusaur. But I don't mind this too much because I have shield advantage, and what I really like about Tangrowth is it has a move to deal with its main weaknesses in Flyers and Fires, which is Rock Slide. This would essentially one-shot the Staraptor, and they decide to shield. We both swap simultaneously, and I know that 2 Dark Pulses is my play to take out my opponent's Venusaur. I'll survive their Frenzy Plants. I think I actually build up, yes, so I know I'll survive their next Frenzy Plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up to 2 Dark Pulses, plus I have a shield. But I'm going to let this go through because, again, I know I'm going to survive it. And I'm going to build it to 2 Dark Pulses, and in case I miscalculated energy, I'm still happy I had the shield. And I'm going to throw a Dark Pulse here, take out the Venusaur. When the Staraptor comes in, throw another one, and call this match GG. So that's, again, an important thing about whenever you're using a new team. You want to make sure when you win lead, you win the match. That's something I feel like I've stressed a lot of times when I've tried out new teams. And in this case, I was able to pull out the match. And now, I think that was the 3rd match, so I'm 2-1 in the set. Pretty sure. Yep, just checked. That was the third match of the set. Currently 2-1. Getting into the fourth match. Let's see if I can clinch the positive set. Getting into this, we got a Alolan Muck on a Blaziken lead. This isn't exactly a win, but if I could land the Sludge Wave, it would one-shot the Blaziken. So if I play this right, I could potentially win it out, but I gotta land my baits, and I'm not the best at doing that. So they get to a charge move very quickly, fully expecting this to be a Blaze Kick. No idea what their other charge move might be, but I know that Alolan Muck could definitely tank a Blaze Kick, and now that I built up so much energy, I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse and hopefully bait the shield. Since Blaziken is so glassy, I'm kind of hoping that this bait will work just the way that it did, and I'm also hoping that I can get to the Sludge Wave before they get to another charge move. Now, what happens is they definitely got to another charge move, but because I let that Blaze Kick go through and they got my health really low, they tried to commit to a counter down, and I guess they didn't want to commit 2 shields and go for the counter down, so I end up winning lead there and also having shield advantage. So that worked out beautifully. They bring in a Togekiss to take out my Alolan Muck, and now I go into Tangrowth. And again, the very important positive of having Tangrowth is that it can really deal with those flyers with Rock Slide. Considering the fact that I have a Machamp in the back, Machamp does not want to see Togekiss at all. And Tangrowth can kind of handle it. It can tank those charms, and then I can spam these Rock Slides. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not running another grass type like Venusaur, because Venusaur could also handle Togekiss pretty well. The main logic here was that Machamp is very weak to Gallade, and if I ran Venusaur, then my entire team would be very weak to Gallade. Alolan Muck would be the only Pokemon that has a somewhat positive matchup there. It is a positive one, but you still have to, it's a little tricky. You have to avoid that close combat. So I wanted to go with Tangrowth because of the fact that it would have a better matchup against Gallade specifically and allow me to not have a double weakness there. Their last Pokemon ends up being Empoleon. I bring in Machamp, throw a cross chop, take it out, clinch a positive set, 3-1. So right now I'm cautiously optimistic of the team. This is my second set with it at the time. I went 4-1 in the set before this, and I'm hoping to clinch a 4-1 in this set. Unfortunately, we've run into a pretty negative lead against a Toxicroak. Toxicroak does give this entire team a bit of a hard time. It beats each of the Pokemon I have pretty closely. It doesn't completely overpower any of them, but it's still not something that I can handle that well either. They're going for a charge move. I expected a Mud Bomb. I could tank one. And I'm going for the Sludge Wave here because both moves are going to be resisted. And Sludge Wave is just better DPE-wise. I also didn't expect them to shield because they know they can tank a move. So I got the Sludge Wave through. Now they're in Dark Pulse range. They look like they're committing to a counter down. So I'm able to get off another charge move. This will be a Dark Pulse. This will at least threaten the shield, so this lead doesn't look too terrible. I get their shield, but they do end up countering me down, which means they're loaded on energy, and I can't feel comfortable bringing in either of these Pokemon, Tangrowth or Machamp, because they don't want to eat either of the charge moves, specifically Tangrowth not wanting to eat a Sludge Bomb. So even though I have shield advantage here, I decide to commit a shield, and I get baited, which is huge in this matchup. And unfortunately, because I don't want my Tangrowth to completely go to waste and eat a Sludge Bomb, I have to commit a second shield here. Luckily, this time I did not get baited, so since they threw all that energy, I'm going to overfarm to try and compensate for the fact that I lost the shield, and I build up to 1.5 Rock Slides before throwing this one. That will now take out the Tangrowth. So now I need to hope that they don't have a super hard counter for my Tangrowth in the back. They don't. It ends up being a Snorlax, so I swap into my Shadow Machamp to see what they might have in the back to counter the Machamp. If they don't have anything, then Machamp can go to work on the Snorlax. They throw a charge move here, being a Body Slam, so I'm thinking in my head maybe they don't. Then they bring in Gallade. So unfortunately, because I lost lead, the back Pokemon did not line up too well. But at least Gallade doesn't completely overpower my team, as if I was running Venusaur and Machamp, then I would have been completely overpowered by this Gallade. But regardless of that, things did not line up positively anyway because I got baited, because I lost lead. And honestly, if I had that shield here, I could shield whatever this move is, farm down the Gallade, and then throw at the Snorlax, which maybe could have made this match closer or potentially given me a win condition. I don't remember how low I got the Snorlax. Either way, some mistakes, some baits, ended up losing the match. I'll take the positive 3-2. Time to catch me a Torchic and see if I'm going to hit rank 9 and see what my starting ELO is. So, luckily Torchic doesn't give me too hard of a time. We're going to claim those rank rewards now. I did get to rank 9. My ELO's at 2287. So, this is the beginning of the journey. It's not about how you start, it's about how you end. Early on, I was not happy about seeing this ELO, obviously, but I understand why. It had nothing to do with the system screwing me over. It had everything to do with the bunch of negative sets that I've been having over the past week. I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to now adapt. I'm willing to improve and still show you why I think I'm one of the best Pokemon Go Battle League or PvP trainers in the game. So this is just the beginning. It's just going to show, you know, how great the comeback's going to be. And I hope you guys are rooting for me. So I clearly have a long journey to get to rank 10 here if I want to do it for a 4th straight season. I don't really consider preseason a season because, or a rank 10 because literally everybody got it then. But my point is, I got my work cut out for me. Hope you guys are cheering me on. I don't know how many extra spice sets I'll be sprinkling into YouTube videos. I'm going to still try for you guys because I want to diversify the content, but just the competitor in me has a bit of a fire in him right now, and I really, really want to push to get to rank 10. I really want to push myself out of this ELO. I have full faith in myself, and if you guys start off with poor ELOs, I have full faith in you guys. If you start with good ELOs, I have full faith in all of us that we're going to obtain the goal of rank 10 as long as we put our minds to it and put the effort there. So other than that, let me know what you thought of the team. Let me know what you thought of the battles. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.